sulking fit, she's a delight. Eleanor, at age 1, with her dimples and her big blue eyes and her never growing hair, is a darling toddler. She has a wide emotional range. She laughs easily and she cries easily. She is friendly to everyone, fearless, very determined, and already frustrated by not being able to keep up with Eliza. My goal for April, the month dedicated to parenthood, to become more tender and playful with my two daughters. I wanted a peaceful, cheerful, even joyous atmosphere at home. And I knew that nagging and yelling weren't the way to achieve that. I had two healthy, affectionate little girls, and I wanted my actions as a parent to rise to the level of that good fortune. I wanted to stop my quick bursts of temper. I indulged in that behavior all too often. And then, because it made me feel bad, I behaved even worse. I wanted to be more light-hearted. I wanted to take steps to preserve the happy memories from this time. Eliza was old enough to grasp dimly that I was writing a book about happiness, but I didn't tell her that I was working on my parenting skills. As a child, I would have been shocked to learn that my parents gave any thought to how they behaved as parents. They seemed all wise, practically all powerful, without any self doubt. Eliza, I figured, would be unnerved by the notion that I was questioning my actions as a mother. But although I didn't tell her what I was doing, April Fool's Day conveniently presented me with an opportunity to keep some of my resolutions on the very first day of the month. The night before, I put a bowl of Cheerios and milk in the freezer, and on the morning of April 1st, I presented it to Eliza with a spoon and watched as she tried unsuccessfully to dig in. Her puzzled look was hilarious. April Fools, I said. Really? She answered, thrilled. It's really April Fool's joke? Great. She examined the bowl closely, then ran to show it to Jim. She got a big kick out of the prank. The night before, I had already gotten into bed when I realized that I had forgotten to prepare the bowl and had been tempted to drop the whole idea. I remembered my goal for April, though, and hauled myself out of bed. When morning came, I was so happy that I had taken the time to set up the joke. The fact is, life is more fun when I keep my resolutions. Sing in the morning. In a family, it's worth the effort to find ways to get mornings running smoothly because while mornings set the tone for everyone's days, they also tend to be stressful as adults try to get themselves organized while also chiving their children to get ready. From a conversation with Eliza, I got the idea of my resolution to sing in the morning. What did you do at school today? I asked her. We talked about how our parents wake us up in the morning. What did you say? I I prodded with curiosity and trepidation. With a good morning song, why she said this, I didn't know because I had done that only a few times in a whole life. After hearing a comment, though I vowed to make a habit of it, this conversation also reminded me that just as adults counsel themselves not to do anything that wouldn't want reported in the newspaper, parents wouldn't do anything that wouldn't want featured in an essay displayed on the wall for parent night. As soon as I started, I saw that singing in the morning really had a cheering effect. I had become a true believer of the act the way I want to feel commandment by acting happy. I made myself feel happy after singing a verse of I've got a golden ticket. I found it easier to resist slipping into a hectoring tone. Singing in the morning reminded me to follow my ninth commandment, to lighten up. I tried to free ride off my children's laughter. Eleanor, especially, has always been unusually quick to laugh, even for a little girl. By pushing myself to enter into the mood to have at least one moment of pure fun with Eliza and Eleanor each day, to laugh at Jamie's playfulness and to take a light tone even when I'm chastising, nagging, or sending off complaints. Easier said than done. One day, three of my resolutions, I woke up with a swollen, sore eyelid. I'm casual about health related matters, but because I'm so nearsighted that I'm legally blind, I take my eye problem very seriously. I'm prone to styes, but this didn't look like a style. Singing in the morning was the farthest thing from my mind. Because Jamie was traveling on business, I couldn't leave the girls with him while I did some amateur medical diagnosis. Eliza is allowed to watch cartoons in the morning until Eleanor comes to kitchen. I know I shouldn't let her, but I do. So I sent her to the TV and left Eleanor singing to herself in her crib while I checked internet health sites. I poked around until I assured myself that this was probably nothing serious. By then, Eleanor was roaring, "Up, up, mama!" So I went in to rescue her. She pointed to her diaper and said, "Hurts." When I took off her diaper, I discovered an angry diaper rash. I also discovered that we had only one lone baby wipe left in the entire apartment. As I changed her diaper using every inch of the sole wipe, Eliza, still in her favorite cherry printed nightgown, came charging in. It's 7:18 and I haven't even eaten breakfast, she wailed in accusation. Eliza hates to be late. In fact, she hates to be on time. She likes to be early. I'm supposed to be done eating and getting dressed by 7:20. We are going to be late. So I burst into cheering song. Did I laugh in a merry but comforting way? Did I murmur reassuringly, "Don't worry, sweetheart, we have plenty of time"? No. I snarled in my most menacing voice, "Wait a minute." She backed off and started sobbing. It took every ounce of my willpower not to keep yelling more. But after the first terrible moment, I managed to hold back. I gave Elisa a quick hug and said, "You go get dressed while I make breakfast. We still have plenty of time until school starts." Make breakfast in this case meant spreading crunchy peanut butter on toast. We did it. We did, in fact, have plenty of time because of Eliza's concern for promptness. Our mornings have a sizable cushion, especially since January, when I begin when I began doing the early tide up. Even after the commotion, we managed to make on time departure. Is there anyone who wants to take over?
Yes.
Yeah, Pallavi, please go ahead.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone.
One second. I have to, okay, 1 second. I'll share the screen. Pallavi, please go ahead. You said you will continue next, no?
We are not able to see the screen anyway. I was reading with my, but yeah.
Are you able to see now?
Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah.
Uh, the effort to stop yelling text my self control to the uttermost. But as we walked to school, I realized how much pleasure our morning had been than it would have been had I kept yelling. As we walked down the street, I started singing, "Oh, what a beautiful morning!" until I embarrassed Eliza hushed me up. The most effective way to lighten up, but also the most difficult because a winning child sucks every particle of humor out of my head, is to make a joke. One morning when Eliza went, "Why do I have to go to class today? I don't want to go to a take taekwondo taekwondo ही कहेंगे ना
One second.
taekwondo do." I
Hmm.
wanted to snap back. You
Why?
always say you don't want to go. Have you lost it? आपको वाला पैराग्राफ मैंने फिर से पढ़ा. इट्स ऑन पेज
नहीं
80.
मैं 1 सेकेंड, मैं अपना ये वॉल्यूम ऑन नहीं रखा, म्यूट नहीं हुआ है। मैं थोड़ा कहाँ पे थी, आप कहाँ पढ़ रहे थे? वो लाइन चला गया। That's staggering evidence.
It's the
Exercise better.
paragraph start with the most effective way of lightening up. On
ये
page
कौन सा पेज नंबर कौन सा है?
88, 88.
88। ये मैं 26 में कैसे आ गए?
आप अप्रैल वाले में जाओ ना. अप्रैल
हाँ
वाले.
आ गए आ गए, हाँ हाँ ठीक है, अभी आ गया। She thought this was hilarious.
हाँ, इससे पहला वाला पैराग्राफ है. जस्ट इससे पहले
हाँ
वाले में.
हाँ,
सो मे आई कंटिन्यू प्लीज.
या प्लीज कंटिन्यू।
टाइकेंड.
What a beautiful morning. The most effective way, यहाँ से कर लो।
हाँ, फिर से पढ़ूँ ये वाला पैराग्राफ.
नहीं तो Eliza answered, I
हाँ,
want to
ठीक है.
stop going
हाँ,
to hip hop.
एलिजा.
ताइक्वांडो, हाँ वो एक कराटे का बात
हाँ
है ना,
हाँ.
ताइक्वांडो। हाँ।
Eliza answered, "I want to stop going to hip hop. I hate every kind of bathroom humor, but she loves it." So I whispered, "I don't give a fart about going to art." She thought this was hilarious, then added, "I had rather pass gas than to go to science class." He laughed until her stomach hurt, and she didn't mention taekwondo do again. This technique worked better than telling her to buck up, and it was certainly more fun. I hit to another rather Pollyannish strategy, then to my astonishment, really worked to keep me in a sing in a morning frame of mind. All day long, I reframed a particular chore by deciding that I enjoyed doing it. For example, as Eleanor's birthday approached, I dreaded doing all the little errands, ordering the Baskin Robin ice cream cake, a Rubin family tradition, taking the girl to the party store to choose paper plates, buying present, making invitation for our family birthday party. I begrudged the time I spent on it. Then I told myself, "I love making plan for Elena's birthday. How fun. I will never have a baby this young again." And it really did change my attitude. I also reframed my imagining that someone had offered to take over the task from me. Would I let someone else plan Elena's birthday? No. This realization also changed my attitude towards the task. A friend of mine told me that when his son were 5 and 3 years old, they woke up at 6 every morning. On the weekend, week after week, he and his wife tried to persuade them to go back to sleep or to play quietly with no success. So finally, he gave up. He had let his wife stay in bed and he had get the boy dressed and out to the door. He stopped for coffee. Then the three of them would head for the park, and we had watched them play for an hour before they returned home for breakfast. These days, his boys sleep late on the weekend, and now my friend told me those mornings are Some of the clearest and happiest memories of that period. The morning light, the quiet park, the little boy racing across the grass. The days are long, but the years are short. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Anyone else would like to continue? How much more we have of this chapter? What's the time now?
It's 7:51.
Shall we go in for discussion then?
Mm, You have to decide ना. आप या मानसी डिसाइड करो. I can
हाँ,
read it.
ये
मैं रीड भी कर सकती हूँ.
बहुत
आप क्या?
ज्यादा है, बहुत है ना अभी। और
हाँ, ये 17 पेज का चैप्टर था.
हाँ, ये 100 पेज तक है मे का।
Mm. We are on 89 right now.
वी आर इन 89। ओके।
So 10
Yes,
more
right,
pages to go,
next.
I guess.
So what do you suggest we do, Mansi? Shall we go in for the discussion or yeah,
We
यहाँ
have
पे है ना?
we are at 7:50 right now. So maybe for the next 10 minutes we can go like
Read?
if
Okay.
you want.
Okay. Who would like to take
Might as
over?
well finish the chapter reading today, like if it's
We
finishable.
can finish the chapter. That will be great. Yeah. Anyone else would like to take over?
Should I continue for a meanwhile until
Yeah,
Yeah,
someone?
yeah.
yeah, go
Please.
on, go on, Pallavi, yeah, go on.
Yeah. Please go on, Pallavi.
Thank you so much. Acknowledge the reality of people feelings. As a part of my research for the month, I reread for the fourth time the collected work of the world's greatest parenting expert, Ethlie Favor, and Aline Maslis, and in particular these two masterpieces, Sibling Without Rivalry and How to Talk So Kids Will Listen and Listen to Kids Will Talk. I discovered these books when a friend of mine mentioned that two friends of hers had the best behaved children she had ever seen. So when I met that couple, I asked for their secret, and they swore by how to talk to kids will listen. I ordered it that night, and I became an instant follower of Faber and Masley's. What different about the what is different about their book is that they had packed their practical advices and examples. They have packed with practical advice and examples. So many parenting books belabor. But Deepa ji, please can you help me with this? Belabor.
Be labor. Be labor means to work. Labor is to work, no? So they work on it. So many parenting books, they teach us. They focus like as if it's work. They put lot of effort on that.
Okay,
The
thank
arguments about the importance of goals.
you. So many parenting books belabor the argument about the importance of the goal, as if anyone is disputing that children should be well behaved, respectful, able to tolerate frustration, self directed, and so on. Fine. What do you want? What do you do when your child throws a tantrum in the cereal aisle? The most important lesson from Faber and Mashlick book is simple and as applicable to adults as to children. We should acknowledge the reality of people's feeling. In other words, don't deny feelings such as anger, irritation, fear, or
Reluctance.
reluctance. Instead,
Okay.
articulate the feeling and other person's point of view. Sounds simple, right? Wrong. I had no idea how often I contradicted my children's assertions of their feeling until I tried to quit. Too often I said things like you are not afraid of clones. You can't
Clowns.
clowns. You are not afraid of clowns. You can't possibly want more Legos. You never play with the one you have. You are not hungry. You just ate. Crazily enough, I discovered just repeating what my child was saying to show That I appreciated her point of view was often enough to bring peace. Instead of saying to a client, don't whine,
Eleanor.
alien, don't whine, you love to take bath. I said, you are having you are having fun playing. You won't want to take bath now, even though it's time. This strategy was astonishingly effective, which suggested to me that much of children's frustration come not from being forced to do this or that, but rather than the sheer fact that they are being ignored. So, what strategy could I use to help show my children that I was acknowledging their feeling? Write it down. For some reason, the simple act of writing something down make a big impression on my children. Even the pre-literate alien to store peace is can be enough to wipe out pen and paper and announce, I'm going to write that down. Eleanor, can you help me again?
Eleanor.
Eleanor does not like to wear snow boots. Don't feel
ये
as
कहाँ
I pardon Deepa ji.
कहाँ पे पढ़ रहे हैं मैं?
यहाँ पे आई राइट इट डाउन यहाँ पे राइट इट डाउन पढ़ लिया.
Okay, okay, yeah,
You
yeah,
want to take ahead?
yeah. Write it down. ठीक है. Eleanor does not like to wear snow boots. वो पढ़ लिया ना?
Anybody else can take ahead, please.
Anyone else would like to take over? Okay.
I can read if no one is there.
Yeah, yeah. Go ahead, ma.
Write it down. For some reason, the simple act of writing something down makes a big impression on my children, even the pre-literate Eleanor. To restore peace, it can be enough to whip out pen and paper and announce, I'm going to write that down. Eleanor does not like to wear snow boots. Don't feel as if I have to say anything. Eliza can be a bit of a sulker. Sometimes I pull her onto my lap and cuddle her for 5 minutes. And when we get up, she's cheerful again. Don't say no to or no. Don't say no or stop. Instead, I try to give information that shows that although I understand their desire, I have a reason for not granting it. You'd like to stay, but we have to go home because daddy forgot his keys. Studies show that 85% of adult messages to children are negative. No, stop, don't. So it's worth trying to keep that to a minimum. Instead of saying no on not until after lunch, I try to say yes as soon as we have finished lunch. Wave my magic wand. If I had a magic wand, I'd make it warm outside so we didn't have to wear coats. If I were Ozma, I'd make a box of Cheerios appear right now. This shows that I understand what my kids want and would accommodate them if I could. Admit that a task is difficult. Studies show that people tend to persevere longer with problems they have been told are difficult as opposed to easy. I've been doing the opposite with Eleanor, I think. Thinking I was being encouraging, I'd say, it's not tough to pull off your socks, just give it a try. I switched to saying things such as, socks can be tough to get off. Sometimes it helps to push down the back part over your ankle instead of pulling on the toe. Not long after I'd made my cheat sheet, I had a chance to pull these principles to work. One Saturday, Jamie and I were talking in our bedroom when Eliza burst in crying. We knew it was real crying and not fake crying because Eliza has a very convenient tell when she's stagging her tears. If she balls up her hand and holds them to her eyes like an actress in a melodrama, she's faking. This time her hands were down, so we knew she was really upset. I pulled her onto my lap and she sobbed into my shoulder. People always pay attention to Eleanor, but nobody ever pays attention to me. Jamie and I looked at each other with worried expression, and Jamie gave me the look that means, I have no idea what to do. Can you handle this one? Just in time, I remembered my resolution: acknowledge other people's feelings. Although I knew that it wasn't factually true, that no one ever paid any attention to Eliza, I managed to restrain my first impulse, which was to argue. What about the 5 games of Uno I played with you last night? And you know everyone loves you just as much as Eleanor. Instead, I said, wow, that hurts your feelings. You feel ignored. That seemed to help. I rocked her for a few minutes in silence, then added, you feel like people pay more attention to Eleanor? Yes, she said quietly. So what should I do? Instead of groping for some facile solution, I said, that's a tough question. You, Daddy, and I will give it some serious thought. When we stood up, she threw her arms around my waist and gave me a big hug, one that felt more needy than grateful. I figured she needed some reassurance. I put my arms around her and said, no matter what, you know that you are our most precious, darling Eliza, and no one would ever forget about you or think that someone else is more important than you. Come on, Eliza, let's go see if my bread dough has risen. Jamie said, you can punch it down. She took his hand and skipped off. Experts say that denying bad feelings intensifies them. Acknowledging bad feelings allow good feelings to return. I'll read this again. This is a powerful line. Expert says that denying bad feelings intensifies them. Acknowledging bad feelings allows good feelings to return. That sure seemed to be what happened with Eliza. This was a real happiness breakthrough. Not only was this approach more effective in soothing Eliza, it was far more gratifying to me to act in a loving way instead of giving in to my impulse to act in a dismissive or argumentative way. Jamie is skeptical of child rearing techniques and he hasn't glanced inside a book about parenting since he tossed aside what to expect when you're expecting after the first chapter. But even he started to use this strategy. I watched one morning when, after Eleanor threw herself, kicking and screaming, onto the floor, he picked her up and said soothingly, you're frustrated. You don't want to wear your shoes. You want to wear your rubby sleepers? And she stopped crying.
Ruby.
Okay, Ruby's sleepers. And she stopped crying. Anyone wants to read from here? Be a treasure house of happy memories.
I can read.
Yeah,
Yeah, go on, go
please
on.
go.
Hmm. Be a treasure house of happy memories. Sometimes the importance of some bit of happiness related research or advice won't hit me when I'm reading about it. Only later I grasp that I stumbled across something essential. One piece of wisdom that did not resonate with me initially was the importance of keeping happy memories vivid. But as I mulled over this principle, I realized that the tremendous value of mementos that help prompt positive memories. Studies show that recalling happy times helps boost happiness in the present. When people reminisce, they focus on positive memories, with the result that recalling the past amplifies the positive and minimizes the negative. However, because people remember events better when they fit with their present mood. Happy people remember happy events better, and depressed people remember sad events better. Depressed people have as many nice experiences as other people, they just don't recall them as well. With this knowledge in mind, I vowed to take steps to help everyone in the family to experience happy times more vividly. Jamie loves looking at the photo albums and has a secret sentimental streak for things like outgrown baby clothes, but he's not going to put it in the time necessary to pull memorabilia together. If I wanted a treasure house of happy memories for my family, I needed to be the one to build it. I stopped resenting the tedious hours I spend maintaining our family photo albums. I use these albums as a family care diary to capture little family jokes or funny incidents, as well as the usual round of birthday party, Thanksgiving dinner, and vacation scenes. Photos help me recall happy details that once seemed unforgettable. How Jamie used to make rice pudding all the time, how tiny our 4 pound Elijah was when she was born, how Eleanor loved to show off her belly button. Without photographs, would we remember the fall afternoon when we wandered through Central Park with Elijah dressed as a lovely fairy, or Eleanor's ecstasy the first time we put her in the swing? Not a chance. Beyond the taking of photographs, another way to accomplish this goal was to embrace my role as the family reporter to spread family cheer. We have two sets of extremely engaged grandparents, and the two who live around the corner are as eager for information as the pair who lives in Kansas City. I made more of an effort to email informational notes with updates from the pediatrician visit, reports on
Pediatrician.
yes,
Pediatrician. Child
yes,
doctor.
yes, reports on school events or funny things that happen. Now that I'm a parent myself, I realize how much happiness of parents depends on the happiness of their children and grandchildren. By sending around a quick, fun email, I can give everyone in the family a lift and also myself do good, feel good. As I had learned in February, even Jamie likes to get emails during the day with interesting bits of family news. With this in mind, when I joined Jamie in our bedroom after tucking Eleanor in for the night, I said, I don't think I've told you about Eleanor's new good night ritual. Now, when I'm done rocking Eleanor, I carry her to the window and she says, Good night, world. Does she really? He asked in a tender voice. Without my resolution, I might never have bothered to mention it. Resolving to be a treasure house of happy memories also got me thinking about the importance of family traditions. Family traditions make occasions feel special and exciting. They mark the passage of time in a happy way. They provide a sense of anticipation, security, and continuity. Studies show that family traditions support children's social development and strengthen family cohesiveness. They provide connection and predictability, which people, especially children, crave. I know that I enjoy a holiday more when I know exactly what we are going to do and when we are going to do it. At the same time, because family traditions usually involve special decorations, special food, and a special sequence of events and participation by certain people, most traditions, other than the tradition of ordering a pizza during the Super Bowl, involve a fair amount of trouble and are a potential source of guilt, resentment, anger, and disappointment. I was right to start my happiness project with focus on energy. When I felt energetic, I enjoyed putting up decorations, getting out the video camera, and all the rest. When I felt low, everything seemed like a burden. Last year, I kept putting off buying a pumpkin for Halloween, and we ended up not getting one at all. Elijah and Eleanor did not seem to mind, but I was shocked by myself. That counts as mommy malpractices in my book. But even though we did not have a pumpkin, I did manage to keep up our family's personal Halloween tradition. Every Halloween, I take a picture of Elijah and Eleanor in their costumes, put the photo in a Halloween themed picture frame, and add it to our Halloween photo gallery. I also give a copy to each pair of grandparents so they have their own sets. This tradition makes a fair amount of effort, but it's fun to have a set of holiday photos that we put out for just 1 week of the year. It gives a sense of family continuity and it's an excuse to give a present to the grandparents. That's a lot of happiness, bang for the buck. My desire to be a treasure house of happy memories gave rise, however, to a problem. I didn't know what to do with my children's various keepsake papers, such as those Halloween pictures. I wanted the girls to have their own copies. Where should I put them? I also wanted both girls to have a copy of their yearly birthday party invitations, the family Valentine's cards, family wedding invitations, class photos, and so on. But where to keep all the stuff? Making little stacks in out of the way cabinets and pinning papers to the bulletins board, as I have been doing, wasn't a good long term solution. A friend told me that she kept scrapbooks of such items for each of her kids, but my heart sank at the thought. I was barely keeping up with our family photo albums. Then my English eighth commandment started flashing inside my head. Identify the problem. What was the problem? I wanted to save all these mementos for Elijah and Eleanor, but I didn't know where to put them. I wanted a convenient, inexpensive, attractive way to store them that would keep them organized without taking up too much room. Instead of moving various piles around the apartment, as I usually did when confronted with this kind of problem, I forced myself to sit and think. Convenient, inexpensive, attractive, organized paper storage. And just like that, I thought of a solution: file boxes. I bought two the very next day. Instead of buying ugly cardboard file boxes, I splurged and bought a slightly fancier version from an upscale office supply store. The boxes were a pleasing tan color, covered with a woven fabric with proper wooden handles. I fitted out each one with a pack of hanging files. I started with Elijah. After gathering up a lot of loose memorabilia from around the apartment, I made a folder for each year of school, past and future, in which I put her birthday party invitation, a copy of the photo I took each year, on the first day of school, the program from the school holiday party, some characteristic work, our family Valentine's card, a camp photo, and so on. Then I did the same with the few items I had for Eleanor. These boxes make it easy to store these mementos neatly, and they will make great keepsakes for the girls when they are older. How fun to imagine that when they are 50 years old, they will be able to look back at their at the birthday party invitations from nursery school. I was so pleased with the system that I started a box for Jamie and me too, divided by the year. As I thought about the various traditions we observed, it occurred to me that I didn't need to wait for traditions to emerge spontaneously. A new tradition may be a bit of an oxymoron, but that should not stop me from inventing a tradition that I wished we had. Jamie came up with a great one, polite night. He suggested that every Sunday night we set the table properly, enforce good manners, and have a nice meal together. Calling it polite night was my brilliant stroke. It turned out to be very useful exercise and a lot of fun. Also, when she was little, I had started the tradition of Elijah and her grandmother taking a weekly music class together. And when Eleanor was old enough, she started a weekly class too. Judy is deeply involved in music and theater, and having this weekly date means that grandmother and granddaughter see each other at least once a week in a context that allows Judy to impart her enthusiasm for music to the girls. Then I thought, What about their grandfather? He needed a grandchild tradition of his own, so I invented one. I proposed that a few times each year during her vacations, Elijah would visit her grandfather at his office for lunch. He thought it was a terrific idea, and these lunches have been a great success. I have no idea how Jamie and I started this, but we have a family tradition of yelling family love sandwich and scooping up the girls in a big tight hug, our version of a secret handshake. I wondered what traditions other people might observe on my blog I asked readers for ideas from their families, some of my favorites. When I was a kid and wanted my three younger sisters to help me clean the house, I invented a game called Cleaning Company. I had no idea there actually were such companies. I would pretend the phone was ringing, pring pring, with hand to ear holding an invisible receiver. Hello, cleaning company. Was all was that you say you need us to come over right now and clean your house for a party? We'll be right over, ma'am. Then I would clap my hands together excitedly and announce to my sisters, sounds like another job for cleaning company. We would pretend to pile into an imaginary car and drive over to our living room, vroom vrooming all around the house first. We were all still in the elementary school, so this was pretty fun for us. Then we would start cleaning whichever room we had been assigned to briskly while repeatedly singing cleaning company, woo woo, with a raise of our hands or feet if our hands were full, with every woo woo, pretty crazy, huh? As a micro family, single mom of one kid, the little traditions are extra important to us because a lot of normal falls between the cracks. We have adventures regularly. It started off when my daughter was very small, and it was to glamorize our errands. Now we plan it out a bit, a map or agenda to pick the route, bring along the camera, adventure clothes. My daughter loves hats, and a snack or dish we have not had before. When my husband and I travel away from our children, we would like to bring home little presents. But instead of just handing them over when we return, I make sure to pick the presents early in the trip, then allow my children to ask for clues. Each child gets one clue per day, and they have tremendous fun coming up with the questions, coordinating with uh,
Rape is
uh, each other about who will
Rape, ma'am.
ask what, keeping a list of the clues that have been revealed, debating among ourselves. The gift itself uh, brings
Got
them
it.
much less fun than the guessing game. Shall we continue?
Yeah, this last story we can finish off, no?
Okay,
Then,
okay, okay. My brother has a tradition with his family. Every once in a while, they have pirate dinner. They cover the table entirely in newspaper and eat with no plates, napkins, or utensils, just hands. He says that his kids have to follow rules and proper table etiquette all the time. So why not give them a break every now and then? I could not wait to suggest pirate dinner to my girls. What a great idea. Uh,
okay. So we have just, I think, four more pages. But the time is already, what is it, 8:10 or 8:15, no? Just four more pages.
It's 8:20, Deepa.
Um, so shall we just do a quick revise of what we have read? And tomorrow is what is the day? Friday, right? We can do a quick recap and finish up this
Yeah, we
little
can
bit
we
of
can
reading.
continue this reading tomorrow, no problem. Yeah.
Yeah.
Tomorrow is a Friday. We have kept it for this book only.
Yeah. So we can finish this 4 chapters and do a proper review of the chapter of what are
Yeah,
the
yeah.
4 months which we have read. Huh? I just want to give a quick thoughts on what we have read before I forget. The
Yeah,
first
yeah,
thing,
sure.
about parenting is the use of this diaper, which she mentions here, no? Her daughter, the younger daughter, Eleanor, was having a diaper rash. So one thing, I have 2 boys. Of course, both are like totally grown up now. So one rule which we had was boys' urine, no, it stinks more than the girls. I come from a girls' family. We are 4 sisters, no brothers. So now I have only 2 sons, no daughters. So one rule I had was my house should not stink. The mattress should not stink. So I potty trained my kids from the day they were born. So I never used a diaper for both my sons. The thing is, you should take the kid when they are like days old only, near the wash basin in the washroom, and open the tap and do that susu sounds. If we don't know, they just urinate, and you have to initially know it's little hard with the help of your mother, sisters, and family members. No, every 1 hour we should do that thing. Take them to the toilet, take them to whichever place is convenient for us to hold them, and we should make them do that susu with the susu sound and with the tap open. So what happens is within couple of months, they are potty trained. They are trained to do the susu only when, and we have to actually, put in a lot of effort. Initially, within half an hour, 1 hour, we have to do it. Gradually, they'll show that, in their face, like, I want to urinate. And you just take them to the pot and make them do it. So the nappy rash never happened. Never had to use a plastic disposable diaper, which I'm totally against because it pollutes the environment also, and it's not a good practice. And we always use that cloth diaper just to keep them covered. So that is one thing I suggest the new parents to follow. They think using the diaper is a fun thing or more hygienic. And the second thing she mentioned was wipe only one single wipe in the entire home, and with that one wipe she cleaned the bum. So again, I'm against such thing. The Indian way of washing the bum with water and then using a powder or a lotion something is and drying that area, and then that is actually much more hygienic and cleaner. The child also learns from a very early age how to be clean and hygienic, especially for boys. No, we have to be very careful, otherwise they can catch infection. So these are the things I have practiced. And the third thing, being a mother and a child, that relationship, it continues for a lifetime. It never ends. It's like, my child now, the elder one is like 34, the younger one is 28. So it is not like they are grown up and you let them go. At every phase, a different style of parenting continues. Like my younger one, he sort of is right now in a demotivated down stage. He's done with his education, he's working, he's going through those various things at the workplace, politics, or the ups and downs which happen in the research work. So he's going through that. So as a parent, I can't at this stage guide him or advise him or do anything. So what I have done is I have set an example. Instead of advising him, what I do is I've undertaken a new course at the age of 54, going through various things in my life. But I thought I should set an example for my child. So I've started studying for this company secretary course. It's going to be very long. It's going to be very hard, tedious, tough. But I want to set a good example for my child. It's not to give up. You perseverance, persistence, and there is going to be ups and downs. But still, we have to continue. So I'm setting an example, and on the aside is that yesterday I got my 7 books for the executive part of this company secretary program. So we have to write 2 exams by December. So 7 subjects, 7 fat books, each one weighing a ton. I don't know how I'm going to do it, but I just have to do it because I have to do what I'm preaching to my child. Practicing what I preach is what I have to do. And another thing is what I noticed here is the writer is using NLP. She is talking about reframing whatever you have to tell the children. We have to do it in any relationship with anyone and everyone. The reframing sentences which she has put there, those are very interesting, and I believe all of us should follow that. And children don't take kindly to no and refusals easily. So acknowledging what they are going through, their emotions and feelings, especially the negative thing, that gives them the outlet to overcome that negative thinking and frustration or disappointment or anger. So reframing is good, and acknowledging what they are going through is important. Yeah. And one more thing I wanted to say, when we were kids, the vacation, the outing was only going to a grandparent's home, travel to the village, wherever we were staying. So when we all gather, that was the vacation. And no preparation was required for it. Here, writer is talking about preparing for spending time with the grandparents, or preparing a holiday thing. Those were not there in my childhood. We just went to the grandparents and just hung out with the cousins, with the various uncles and aunts. Some of them would be in our age group, our uncles and aunts. Huge families. That is what it was. It was huge fun. But today, any vacation I see requires plenty of planning. It requires work. This is what is happening today. And now next month I'm planning to go to Arunachal Pradesh. So for the past 1 week I've started walking. I'm into my fitness thing, because in Arunachal Pradesh we might need to walk. We might need to be fit for 10 days. So I can't just go with this my sloppy lifestyle. So I have to be very active. So today youngsters are preparing and planning for everything, and I believe as a parent we have to be on par with that young the current mindset, which requires a lot of planning, thinking and preparation for everything. Said that, it is my bad. I'm sorry I didn't put a message about today's happiness project reading. I was informed, but the 1 day gap or something, it just flew out of my mind. It is my bad. I'm sorry. I apologize. I should have put a proper message at least a day before. I apologize for that. Thank you. Would anyone else like to share?
It's completely okay, Deepa. It's okay. Even if you could have cancelled the session for today, it would have been okay too. We just
Hmm.
confirm, that's it. Like, don't be
Yes.
guilty about it. Please don't be. You always have the liberty to cancel or take it a little later whenever you find it comfortable. So,
Yeah.
no problem at all. So, yeah. So, I have a little bit, some small shares, but if anyone else wants to talk, they please go ahead. And also, what time do we want to close, Deepa? Otherwise, we can just continue with the shares tomorrow also. Like, we have like we have
Yeah.
time for.
Yeah, we can do that tomorrow also. Tomorrow we'll just focus on all the shares. It's already 8:29. And that AI companion I didn't click on. So tomorrow I'll be more well planned and not go into this cluttered way of doing things. Yeah, thank you.
There's
So I'll
nothing
put
that's
the.
cluttered. It's okay. It's totally okay.
Hmm.
Do we want? We can still do the AI. We can catch up. What do you want? You can actually,
We,
even
we
I am
can do
trying
it
to do.
tomorrow, no? Today only I gave my share. Tomorrow
So
we
your
can do a
shares will
recap.
be recorded. Your shares will take, na? The pointers will be taken from your shares. Uh,
It is recorded, huh? I don't know.
no, no, no. We are recording it already on YouTube. But I did switch on the YouTube thing like some time back, like just after we started with the reading. But that will be there. But apart from that, we can take the AI notes. Like I'll just give a prompt. Give me a minute.
Yeah. Anyone else like quick share? Maybe if anyone is interested today.
Just one line here.
Yeah.
Here it was mentioned that the way you talk to your children make a huge difference. Means matlab the how the author has advised ki when he asked just go to the bath, the child won't obey, but he said that do you want to have a bath? So how we talk to our kids make a huge difference that I have found with my daughter. So this line was very profound for me. Yeah,
Yeah, that is very true. The tone of our voice, the smile on our face, everything matters nowadays.
correct.
Mm,
Yeah,
yeah.
I just want to add some. What I feel is, whenever we interact with anybody, whether it is kids or like our parents or anybody, anybody basically. So I think we should do that with love and compassion and smile on our face and so many things. Because what I feel is that words without love and compassion are empty actually. They don't have the meaning that we intend to convey to the other person. So, and love and compassion is the highest form of energy, like vibration basically. So, when we talk to anybody, especially children or grandparents and things like that, like we should be full of love, compassion, calmness, and like smile on the face. So that brings energy around you. So I think it makes a lot of difference. And when we talk to kids, we should special child. You are one of you're a talented child. So just when so yeah, that's
Yeah, your voice is breaking a little bit. So
Yeah.
yeah, okay, no problem. Yeah, I can if we have like 1 minute or so, I can have a quick share.
Yes,
Otherwise,
sure.
I can
Yeah,
do it
please
tomorrow
go.
also
But
if
you
that's
can stop sharing if you feel like.
yeah, the
Yeah, you
screen
can
share.
give your 2 minutes. We can continue. No, it's eight
Okay, so
thirty-three.
I just wanted to share and add just what how you do it, Deepa, like setting an example. I too believe in that, and that's a very very beautiful thing. Like because childrens do learn from us. Like I have learned it like so far. I have a very young daughter, but still. So what I try to do is in my this thing in our family. So I love the tradition part of the book. So I really would want to know everyone's tradition in a group tomorrow. And I just felt that we don't have really very strongly established traditions as such. We only have some small pujas and all of that. Other things are very random. So I would really want to take that as a learning and have something. And maybe I would want to discuss that with my family and have something indulging like some rituals or something that was very interesting. And one part which I remembered in the earlier share where she acknowledged her daughters and the way she reframes those sentences, in that I just remembered one of the thing that we do, which I just wanted to share with everyone, like how they shared about that love sandwich, some sandwich, some hug, something, right? Like that kind of a ritual or something. So what we do in my with my daughter, what I do is so whenever we any of us, like me, my daughter, or my husband, just three of us, whenever we any of us is upset, so there is a language where we talk to each other, where we say, oh, my love tank is empty, or my love tank is not so full. So we talk in this
Wow.
way. So it's like it's basically it's a concept that she understands as a child, and she has very well connected with the Inside Out movie that we saw. So she now understands and talks in emotions in that language. So whenever she gets angry or she gets upset, then and if we want to help her change her mood, what we try to do, or even among us we do that in a fun way, that okay, so anger is controlling your mood right now, or anger is controlling your head right now, or anger is in the driving seat, for example, or sadness is in the driving seat. So that immediately gets control. So that
Mm.
immediately brings the person to an awareness, and we talk among each other like this at times. And when I have to explain her something, when I am upset with something and when she understands it, or when she is upset with something, and when, or even my husband, like if we have to communicate it in a way, we say ki oh, my love tank is if I'm not feeling well, if I'm not feeling up like so in the best of my energies today, and if I have to explain it to her, I would say like that my love tank is empty today, so can you just give me a little bit of love, or can you just fill that up for me? So then she will come and hug me, and then she will do a lot of kisses, and I do the same for her. So we just do that for each other, and it really cheers us up, or it at least makes the other person aware that okay, I'm not feeling that great, and we need to do something extra to make up for our loved one. So this is a kind of, maybe not a ritual kind of a thing, but a small gesture that we do follow. And recently we just practiced, like we just did this fun thing of listening each other's heartbeats, or she was just listening to my stomach, this thing. So some things like that, some silly things, but I think they add to a lot of connection, and we feel a lot of fun out of these, and I feel we feel them on a very deeper level when we do something like this. So that is what I just remembered, and I wanted to add small gestures do make a lot of difference, and that love tank thing has really helped us a lot. It just started by fluke, and somehow it has continued, and it's a
Yes.
wonderful experience. So I just wanted to share with everyone.
Yeah. I'll keep this in thing for my grandchildren. Yeah. As soon as they come, I'll start this ritual. Beautiful one, Mansi. Hmm.
Yeah, it's cute.
Okay.
In fact, if you have a children, like you can also like listen to their heartbeats, and listening to each other
Yeah.
heartbeats is really fun.
Yeah.
So that's a
I'm yet to
wonderful.
reach that stage. My children are yet to give me that blessing. But as soon as it starts, I'll be all set. Apart from storytelling and various other fun activities, this love tank filling is very good idea. Yeah. Anyone
Yeah.
else? Who else are there?
Yeah,
Just
just a 30 seconds. This thing, when I listened to Mansi's work, I remember my kids' days. The moment, when they are children, we usually go to their bed and then wake them up, right? Firstly, I used to go and literally kiss on their forehead, that is in between the eyebrows. So, someone, I don't know, some trainer has told that the immense love, energy, awakening, everything will be in between those two eyebrows. That's why, especially at a nascent stage. So, I used to make a point that the moment I get up, I make them to get up from the bed. I used to kiss them on the forehead and say, "Love you so much." So this was continued, and even now it is being continued. So some kind of small gestures will really
Yeah, wow.
Yeah.
play a
Beautiful,
great thing.
beautiful.
I'll add that to my this thing. Also, one thing I just remembered, which I also do, thanks to Richa who shared this, I think, with us. Like earlier, I used to always, like, whenever I want to appreciate her, my daughter, for something, and then it's a natural thing. We used to say, "I'm so proud of you." But now that comes naturally, anyways, even now. But then now I've started adding, "You must be so proud of yourself too." So this to it, so that it's like someone just shared that, I think in our group only, that it when we talk to kids in this way, that I am proud of you, or I am this and that, that makes them seek validation of those things. So just to not let them be people pleasers or help them with that, so you should actually indulge in a way that you must be so proud of yourself, or you should, oh, you did this, you should be so proud, you must be feeling so proud of yourself. And that really, I can see in her body language and everything, that really lifts her up, her confidence up, and that really makes her feel very nice about herself. And she's a very she's very young as of now, so she's very expressive, so everything is
Mm-hmm.
immediately understood through her gestures. So that I can see the difference in that, just small reframe, but it makes a lot of difference. So just wanted to add that one more, like just remembered it.
Yeah, beautiful, beautiful. So lovely parenting tips on how to be a loving, cherishing, caring parents. Okay. So I think we'll wind up for the day. And for tomorrow, what I'll do is I'll write in before the end of the day, I'll put a summary of all the chapters which we have read with some pointers, and whatever shares people have given, some important shares I'll share. And what I'll do is I'll encourage everyone to go through the first 4 chapters, and encourage the participants to give a discussion shares about parenting tips. So that might encourage everyone to participate tomorrow more. So just 4 pages are left. It might take hardly 5-10 minutes to read, and rest of the time we can spend on discussing what we have read so far. How does that feel, everyone? The plan for tomorrow?
Yes, Deepa, please go ahead now.
That's great.
Okay.
That's great. We can go that way, and we'll come like with something like to share tomorrow. We're more
Yeah.
prepared, more going
Yeah.
through the
So
notes.
I'll put a sort of
And
a
also,
note.
Deepa, I think also to this, if you can just add somewhere like the review about the last 3 months, the last quarter that
Yeah,
already
yeah, yeah. I plan to do that. Yeah,
anything
I'll
like
put
if
a
anyone's
summary,
got.
a review of what we have read, along with some of the old shares which we have. I have the
No,
slides for it.
you don't have to do anything. I'm just saying that in the discussion we can cover that, like just
Yeah, yeah,
asking.
we can cover that. So I'll
Yeah,
put it in the FEL group and in the B club group of this.
yeah, sure, sure, no problem.
Oh,
As you feel
oh,
convenient. Yeah.
yeah. Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you. On a short notice, people attended today. Thank you. Okay.
I
Have
really
a
do feel you don't have to feel
yeah.
it's that.
Okay.
Thank
Bye
you.
then.
Bye.
Everyone take care. Okay.
Bye bye. Take care.